Hey guys, welcome back to another day. So as you can see, I just played my opponent and he challenged me to a rematch. The last game was again an endgame tangle, which I don't really want to go all that deep into. So now let's play a brand new game and let's see if we can have something interesting. Again, we're having the white pieces. I've seen some very kind words in the comment section. I am very motivated. So today I might be playing 2 games in a row, and let's see if I can bring some nice chess for you guys. So this is the classic type of King's Indian I like to play, which basically consists of pushing the center pawns, controlling f5, and just trying to stop this move. And since he played this move, we have this idea of taking, and once the exchange is over, we might play this. So the idea is to bring the bishop out over this way. We have our queen to protect ourselves, and let's see if this is going to work out. Knight c5. Interesting developing move. Taking control of the diagonal I would like to take. And now let's see if we can cook up some other plans, Why don't we begin with castling? Since the side of the board is so open, I have a feeling it might be advantageous for us to castle. And now this walks into e4, which seems like a nice move. And now why don't we go for a trade? I don't really like my pieces being closed up behind this pawn wall, so I'm trying to trade off the white bishop, the light squared bishop, so my knight can dive into these weak squares, where without this bishop protecting these squares, it is a weakness for my opponent. So I believe this is a nice move. Takes, and queen d7. Actually, I just realized a nice tactic here. It is rook f2. If I take, there's knight d3. Luckily, my opponent didn't see this, so let's bring our rook back to defend this threat. Rook f4, an intruding move. A nice move to play in long castle positions is oftentimes king b1, just to get out of some sort of pins over here. And our opponent piled his rooks up on the f-file, and now why don't we go for an attack on this open file? The reason I'm hanging this pawn is because generally you don't like to take this pawn. It opens up diagonals and lines for me rather than him. Because in this case, I can bring my rook back, utilize this file, and just crash in on the h7 square. Once I bring in my knights, it's going to be extremely advantageous for me. As for h6, the obvious move here would be rook g1 to attack g7. Rook f7 to defend. Makes sense. And now let's bring in this plan to action. Another very logical move to defend, to attack the g7 square. And our opponent is cooking up some attack on his own. Okay, I'm not really scared. Let's keep on with the plan. Takes. I don't know, let's take the pawn. I'm actually thinking of knight f5, but here apparently he can take the pawn. And if I take, there's knight d2 check, which is bad for me. So let's go for the safe option. And indeed, I just realized I have hung this pawn on e4 when I'm playing knight e3. He didn't really capitalize on it, but it is quite a problem, this pawn over here. Actually, we might need to play something like rook g4 perhaps in the future to, trade it down into an endgame and just attack his weak pawn structure. Okay, now that the queen has abandoned her position, I'm thinking of h5, h6 to lure the bishop away and play rook g8. So basically, I think the only move here might be something like h6, which again is poking even more holes in this position. And now we have rook d6. Let's see what is the next step from our opponent. Knight a4 threatening checkmate. Actually, no, he's actually not even threatening checkmate because of my knight on c4. So let's bring more pieces into the position. Yeah, queen g2 seems very logical to me. And now, how is he supposed to defend g7? That's a serious question for him. Knight c3, creative, but I don't really think that actually accomplish anything. Now I think he's just basically lost. Okay, he comes back to defend, but first of all we can take, and as a bonus we can also take here. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Comes down. No worries, we request a trade. Let's try to add some extra pressure here. Okay. I don't know why I'm panicking. Okay. A clean flag. I will be abandoning my opponent for now because I know he plays the queen's pawn as well, but I hope to show you a king pawn opening. And for some reason, it's still a white game. Okay, I'll take this. Again, somebody rated my rating. And let's have a tough fight against Fighter 1978.